touchy man. You want to kiss?
Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from Behatilife. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the week ahead, covering August 13th until the 19th. Now I want you guys to bear with me because I feel, and even as I was writing down my notes, I was writing everything so fast, I feel like I might trip over my own feet when it comes to me sharing what I am feeling, what I'm thinking as far as information and messages that I want to share with you. We are coming off of the solar eclipse that happened in the sign of Leo. I feel as though this week ahead is insane because it almost seems, and I have been seeing this and predicting it for a while, it almost seems as though there is a catalyst, a shift, a change, something that happens internal but also external. We're feeling it internally, we're feeling it externally, we're seeing it in our environment. We have to honor it, we have to respect it, we have to stay open, we have to stay flexible. Meanwhile, it's like this ball is rolling and picking up speed. It's number one, it's because of these eclipses that have been happening, and anytime we see an eclipse, this ushers in an insane amount of change in our lives that not only is going to impact us here in the now, but for the next 6 months and for the rest of our lives based upon the decisions and the action that we take now. So that being said, there was this passing Leo eclipse is not the first thing to have started to get this ball rolling, but this passing eclipse was connected to the sign of Leo, and Leo is always connected to our heart and our ability to believe in ourselves and to see this greater vision and to ask for the desires of our heart without holding ourselves back. Now, I was saying that as Mercury was squaring Jupiter, a lot across the internet is going to tell you to kind of scale back on the things that it is that you say. I say don't scale back on your vision and speaking things into life, especially when it comes to setting your intention and working your manifestation. I say that if you're going to scale back on anything, it's to not overpromise, at least right now in this moment, simply because Mercury is retrograde, as well as Saturn, Pluto, Mars, Uranus, Chiron, Neptune. All of these planets are retrograde that are asking you to kind of not over promise things that you can't deliver on, at least at some point. But as far as setting intention, Mercury squaring Jupiter this week and at the moment of the eclipse kind of tricks you into thinking, allowing you to think larger than life, which some of us have difficult time doing. So that being said, I really hope that you did take that time to set your intention and to recapture old ideas, old projects, old desires of your heart that you may have abandoned. The one thing that I'm seeing and that I've been feeling for all of us across the board is this internal and external shift that we cannot help, that we cannot control. It is bigger than us. It is larger than us. Thank goodness for that, because sometimes as human beings, we can only see one thing one way all the time, and we don't realize how vast things how vast opportunity is, how vast the universe is, and what all can happen. So when we get triggered and we are being asked to kind of be flexible and to shift and to evolve, it's because we're being molded, and that's essentially what it is that I'm seeing that has acted as a catalyst that's acting to impart change in our lives. So the one thing that I wanted to share with you this week that I see is I'm seeing an emergence. And what it kind of reminds me is something that has, and I said this last week, and I can track the energy, not even realizing that that is what it was that I was doing in the weeks before that, where something was kind of triggered within your life and you start to give birth, and in that environment, I see that you need to be in a sacred space, you need to be in a safe space in order for you to give birth to whatever it is that is growing in your life safely. The same, and the metaphor that I'm using is a woman actually giving birth, where when her water breaks, you go to a space where she'll be able to give birth without distraction, without interruptions, and she's able to listen to her body and also listen to her guides, the people that are there that are coaching her through the birthing process, in order to deliver this baby safely and healthy. So that's what it is that I'm seeing within your own life. Maybe it's not a physical baby, but it's something that is emerging and coming into your life that is for you to take care of, that's for you to grow, and it requires the next level from you. But in order for you to get to that stage before that baby is here, you have to then kind of go through those growing pains. And this week, I'm actually, well, with the eclipse, I actually saw finally that we're in the birth of this process, that what it is that you've been setting intention for is actually manifested itself, it's revealing itself. Now, that being said, when you are, whatever it is that you have manifested, that you're working on, when it is emerging into your life, you need to make sure that the environment that it's coming into is purified, that it is cleansed, and then that is ready. That's why women who are pregnant, before the baby comes, they start prepping the home environment to make sure that the baby that she's bringing home has a clean environment to grow in, that it's prepared, that you have everything that you need at your fingertips in order to make sure that you're able to give to this child. The same thing is what it is that I see for you guys in your life, that you're emerging, whatever it is that is emerging is happening really, really rapidly, very, very fast. And it requires you in a lot of ways to stay flexible, to stay open, but also to be strong. And you may have fear, you may have also excitement. And that's not to say that you're not ready and that you're not prepared, because every step of the way will teach you and force you essentially to grow up and to be what it is that is required in order to take care of whatever it is that is birthing into your life. But I see you needing to make sure that the space is pure and purified and purged of the old, of toxic. So if you are in this space right now, especially this week, and you are bringing into your life new energy, a new you, a new way of doing things, you want to make sure that there are no toxic, lingering distractions or habits or people or whatever, that your environment, the external, is conducive to the new you, whatever it is that is new in your life. That requires you to make some changes and adjustments, and that requires you also to have faith that and to honor that what it is that you're bringing into your life is actually worth your cutting these loose cords. I hope that makes sense. Again, I'm really trying to share my message one step at a time and not trip over my own 2 feet. Also, I'm distracted by my nose. You guys already know that when I start channeling messages, it feels like there's cat hair on my face. It's kind of annoying and irritating, especially as I'm recording, but you guys are cool with it. But it's still kind of, it's not new for me, but it's kind of distracting when I'm trying to talk. So the thing that I'm seeing also is I see people stepping into their personal power. The crazy thing is that when I saw the word power and I was looking at the word power and received that message, I saw this as sometimes it's subtle power, kind of like how a plant pushes its way through the concrete despite the odds, despite the obstacles, it's still able to move and push its way through the concrete. And then I see more obvious displays of power, like, I don't know, like just huge, like a hurricane, like a blizzard, like a tsunami. All of this is nature's power demonstrating itself in different ways. Now, I'm seeing that for you guys as well. Now, when I look at the chart, Mercury is currently retrograde. Pluto is currently retrograde. Saturn is retrograde. These are planets that and also the sun is moving to the sign of Leo. These are the planets that I would look towards for power. Pluto, because it rules the power of transformation. Saturn, because it rules the power of stability and structure. Mars, because it rules the power of your action and your deliberate, inspired movement. Sun is the power of your vitality and the essence of your core being, which is moving through the sign of Leo. So power is moving from the heart and expressing from the heart. So as Mars ends up taking its step back into the sign of Capricorn, it was once in Aquarius. This was the power to do differently. Now, as Mars is moving back into Capricorn, even though it's retrograde, what we're doing is we're using the power of restructuring and thinking about your long-term commitments, your long-term stability, what it is that you want for your life, forever? What you're building on? What is it that you want to have a firm foundation for, is what Mars moving back into the sign of Capricorn is going to do for you. Also, you want to check to see what Capricorn rules within your chart by making sure that you're looking at your ascendant. So if your ascendant is in the sign of Cancer, then what Capricorn rules within your chart is the seventh house of relationships. So there's a focus on the action that you take, the inspired action that you take as Mars moves back into the sign of Capricorn. Also, Capricorn is known for business and longevity. So these things, again, that will provide for you, not here, not just now in this moment, but for the lifetime to come, are the things that it is that you want to focus on and you want to plant your vision on. The Sun squaring Jupiter. This is another sign of huge power surges this week. Now, if there is a sign for power, this channeled force of power, within this week's forecast, it's the Sun squaring off with Jupiter. Now, I really feel a need to tell you guys that there is no such thing as all negative or all positive with anything. That's just how the universe works. And if you study alchemy and if you study magic, then you'll be able to understand, and study intention, you'll be able to understand how to work with that, and how to work with those energies, and understanding that there's no bad and there's no good. It's just all different for everyone, and it's how you work it. It's how you work with what it is that it's giving to you. So that's what it is that I'm seeing, is that your power, whether you think that you are strong or whether you think that you're weak, your power comes from how you work with your strengths and your weaknesses. The other thing that I'm seeing is your power will come from things that you may think are negative, things that you may think are positive. It's all in your ability, how you perceive things and what you do with that information and what you do with your action that will help to create a positive outcome, something that is conducive to what it is that you want, that is favorable to the outcome that you want for yourself, or a negative outcome, which depends on, which is defined by something that you don't want in your life, or something that you're not welcoming in. But either way, it's how you work your power, what you do with it. So that, I want to put that power in your hands, because this week with Sun square Jupiter, the Sun is moving away from Jupiter, but that energy is still there. This week, it's up to you to decide where it is that you put your focus. Do you allow yourself to get derailed? Do you allow yourself to get distracted? Do you allow yourself to get paranoid or to feel helpless and powerless? Or do you step into your personal power and do you take accountability? Do you call the shots? Do you make commands on what it is that you will do, what you won't do, what you will accept, what you won't accept? Will you open your heart up, or will you shut the doors, shut the shutters on emotion? These are things that, will you speak things into existence? And what is it that you're speaking into existence? Is it something that is constructive to your overall well-being, or is it destructive? So you call the shots, you paint the picture. It's up to you to kind of think outside, to think largely, and to channel it in a constructive way. Or do you allow yourself to kind of crumble and fall into a state of this like little cave where you have to dig yourself out and you're just calling out for help and it seems like there's no one there for you? So it's totally up to you. Another thing that I'm seeing is Mars is going to be squaring off with Uranus this week. Mars is at 29 degrees Aquarius at the moment that I'm filming this, but he actually might be at 0 degrees Capricorn. And Uranus is at 2 degrees in Taurus, the sign of Taurus, also retrograde. So there is this impulsive reaction. There's this impulsive vibe that it is that I'm picking up on, that I'm seeing within the chart. But again, it almost seems inspired. Just make sure that you are not being destructive again with your energy, because there is a tendency to do things, to react in a way that is impulsive, that could put you in harm's way, I want to say, but it kind of is something that you might live to regret. So make sure that the action that you're taking, when it's inspired, that it's something that is conducive to your well-being and your vision, ultimately what it is that you see for yourself and what you want for yourself, and not based upon these old habits, these old perceived limitations. Like sometimes, let's say if there's someone says something to you and the old you, the wounded child self, would have been triggered and you would react, you would lash out, you would want to fight. Now it's more like, you know what, that's your perception of me, and that has no reflection of me and where I'm at and who I am right now at this moment in my life. Okay, so again, the external stimulus was there, the external stimuli was there, and it was up to you and to work it for your highest and greatest good, if you use it to trigger you or if you use it for your benefit. That's what it is that I'm seeing for this week ahead. I hope that that makes sense. I hope that that resonates. Let me know in the comments down below how you are faring this week, how this eclipse has impacted you, what you've done with this energy, etc., etc. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video. Talk to you soon. Bye.